Have you ever met a boy who seems much older than his age? Not because of his face but because of the way he talks, thinks, and reacts. While other boys are busy proving themselves, he stays quiet. While others are chasing attention, he is observing. People often call him too mature. Some admire him, some think he is boring, some even say, "Bro, why do you think like a 40-year-old uncle?" But what most people don't realize is that being a too mature boy is not always a gift. Sometimes it is a hidden burden. Psychology has discovered something interesting about Gen Z. The most emotionally mature young people are often not the happiest ones. Sounds strange, right? We usually think maturity automatically creates success and peace, but the reality is more complicated. Many mature boys became mature because life forced them to. Maybe they faced difficulties early. Maybe they had responsibilities before others. Maybe they learned that nobody was coming to save them. While other kids were learning games, they were learning survival. This creates a strange effect. A mature boy can enter a room and instantly understand everyone's emotions. He notices who is insecure, who is pretending, who is sad behind a smile. It almost feels like a superpower, but here's the hidden downside. When you understand people too well, it becomes harder to enjoy simple interactions. You start seeing motives behind actions. You start predicting outcomes before they happen. Imagine watching a movie when you already know the ending. That is how many mature boys experience life. One of the rarest psychological insights is that intelligence and emotional maturity often create loneliness. Not because people dislike you, but because your mind lives in a different reality. While everyone is discussing drama, trends, and gossip, your brain is asking bigger questions. What is success? Why do people need validation? Why are humans afraid of rejection? Suddenly, normal conversations feel like eating air when you are hungry for real food. History shows this pattern everywhere. Many great thinkers felt disconnected from their generation. They weren't necessarily smarter in every way. They simply saw things from a wider perspective, and perspective changes everything. When a mature boy sees two people arguing, he often understands both sides. When others see enemies, he sees wounded humans protecting their ego. This ability sounds powerful, but it creates another problem. He struggles to choose sides. He struggles to hate people. Even when someone hurts him, part of him understands why they did it. Now let's talk about a secret most people never notice. Many mature boys are actually overthinkers disguised as wise people. Society praises them because they look calm, but inside their heads thousands of thoughts are running every hour. They analyze conversations after they end. They replay mistakes from years ago. They imagine future problems that do not even exist yet. The world sees maturity. They experience mental exhaustion. Gen Z faces a unique challenge. For the first time in human history, young people are exposed to millions of lives every day through social media. Your brain evolved to compare itself with maybe 50 people in a village. Now it compares itself with millions. A mature boy often realizes this trap earlier than others. He understands that social media is not reality. Yet even when he knows the game is fake, his brain still reacts. This creates a strange conflict between knowledge and emotion. Think about it like this. If someone tells you a horror movie is fake, your heart can still race while watching it. Knowledge does not automatically control emotions, and that is why many mature boys secretly struggle. They know what they should feel, but emotions follow their own rules. Another fascinating insight from psychology is that mature boys often become emotional containers. Friends come to them for advice. Family members trust them. Everyone believes they're strong. But who listens to the strong one? Who checks on the person who is always checking on others? This is one of the most common hidden experiences among highly mature young men. They become everyone's support system while quietly carrying their own weight alone. And here comes the biggest misconception. People think maturity means having all the answers. It doesn't. Real maturity means becoming comfortable with uncertainty. A mature boy does not know everything. He simply understands that life is too complex for simple answers. The older your mind becomes, the more you realize how much you don't know. There is an old pattern found across philosophy, science, psychology, and even economics. The people who are most confident are often the ones who know the least. Meanwhile, people with deeper understanding usually have more questions. This is why mature boys sometimes appear less certain than others. They have seen enough complexity to respect it. But there is one danger every mature boy must avoid: turning wisdom into isolation. Just because you understand people does not mean you should disconnect from them. Just because you enjoy deep conversations does not mean every conversation must be deep. Sometimes happiness comes from laughing at stupid jokes. Sometimes growth comes from doing things that make no sense. Sometimes life is not a puzzle to solve. Sometimes it is an experience to live. The truth is that being a too mature boy is like carrying a powerful tool. If used correctly, it helps you build an extraordinary life. If used incorrectly, it becomes a cage. Your maturity should help you connect with the world, not hide from it. It should create understanding, not superiority. It should create peace, not loneliness. And maybe the most important lesson is this. You do not have to carry the role of the strong, wise, mature person every second of your life. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to be confused. You are allowed to be young, because true maturity is not acting older than your age. True maturity is knowing when to be serious, when to be playful, when to think deeply, and when to simply enjoy the moment. So if people call you a too mature boy, don't treat it as a compliment or an insult. Treat it as a responsibility. A reminder that understanding life is valuable, but living life is even more important. Because at the end of the day, the wisest people are not the ones who understand everything. They are the ones who understand enough to appreciate the mystery.